I haven't watched this movie since I don't think I watched it this past October.
That's the intro for the show just now, Nick, because we're recording. So you haven't watched this movie in a long time. I think it's been like 2 years. No, I watched it last year.
I didn't.
I did.
See, with my work schedule, and then obviously, toddler, I was like, I wasn't finding a ton of time to be able to watch all these movies in October. And that's my thing as like a Halloween junkie is I've got to watch every Halloween movie in October. I at least try to. And there was like 3 of them I didn't get around to. One of them was by choice, Resurrection. And then I remember it was like 2 days before Halloween. I was like, all right, it's Rob Zombie's Halloween or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And I was like, well, that's easy. So I picked Halloween 2. So I didn't watch this past October. So it's probably been almost 2 years.
It's already feeling like Halloween to me. I mean, it's hot, but like I think like, I don't know what it is. Like, do you already feel it like in the air, I guess?
Oh, it's coming.
Is it creeping?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Dude.
And you're starting to see the memes and stuff on social media too. And once the memes start to pop up, like waiting for Halloween, waiting for spooky season, And then also my buddy Steve, who I didn't really give Christian much backstory on this, but guys, apparently everything I said on our Spirit Halloween episode last year was wrong, except it wasn't. And apparently
I was spot on. I mean, that the factory thing was very humble in my stories. It was like basically like one little cutout thing.
Yeah.
Like in the big, but you were spot on. And once we get rolling, I want to talk to you more about that when you're going to be able to find out,
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say really quick about that. And as a tease to us getting into that, I do have, it's not a secret insider. I have a zone manager friend named Steve, who I used to work for. He was my district manager when I was a general manager for Spirit for multiple years. And he eventually got the year-round gig as zone manager. So he makes 6 figures a year now, working year-round for Spirit Halloween, and gets
fucking amazing.
Gets November to January off every year, paid the entire holiday season. So Steve, I know you watch my channel. I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but I very much am jealous of you. And if you can ever get me one of those year-round gigs, let me know. I'll quit my job. But
me too.
Yeah. So if you guys ever want to know certain things about the Spirit season, like I'm not bullshitting you. Like there's like 33 zone managers for that company, and he's one of them. So like he sits in on all these meetings, but he posted a picture 2 days ago on Instagram of the annual district manager meeting. All of his district managers for his zone, he takes them out to dinner in New Jersey, where the home store is, and they were out to their dinner the other night, which tells me that they're ramping up.
It's getting real.
Yep, they're ramping up. They're gonna start. Signing leases and getting keys and signing paperwork probably by the end of this month, and start store building next month. So yeah, it's right around the corner.
Fuck yeah. All right, guys. So check it out. We're going to get the show on the road. As you know, we're going to watch this movie, but we're going to be talking about a lot of things. You guys know the routine. It's bullshittery for an hour and some change. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about, of course, the movie. Now, I want to say this right off the top. Now, the thumbnail, I haven't made it yet, but it's probably very trolly and funny. But here's the thing, guys. I have taken it upon myself to poke fun about hardcore Halloween fans and stuff. Very, very, in a very fun manner. Because let me tell you guys something. I am a Halloween fan. I really am. I love all these movies. And I make fun of the people that have to tell me Resurrection sucks because I bought a mug. But the truth is, these movies are fun. And I want to really talk about this movie in a few facets. I want to talk about this movie, the way it was on release, the reason a lot of people hate it. And I don't want to call it Halloween fans. Let's just say a lot of people hate it because I don't want to put those people in the box. Why I don't. I actually like this movie. I wouldn't say it's top 5 by any stretch, but I actually like this movie. And I want to talk about what I don't like about this movie, quite frankly. And of course, we got to talk about Rob Zombie's Monsters trailer, which has caused a massive shitstorm on the internet too. Rob Zombie's always causing a shitstorm. But we're going to talk about all that kind of shit as we go along. So,
hey, sounds good to me, Christian. I don't know. Are you queued up and ready to go?
We're doing the unrated cut, people, because that's probably the cut that you have. So here, let me get to, what are you at? Are you on the
It's
Miramax screen
black
or is it?
screen, 0. I'm at 1 second. The logo hasn't come up yet.
Okay, Dimension will come up. Okay, count us down, Nick.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Excuse me.
1. Let's skull fuck.
Now, Nick, I don't know if you've noticed, but my internet in my house is not bad, but my horror room is the farthest room away from my Ethernet box. Well, I finally bought a longer Ethernet cable and I stretched the box halfway across the living room. So I shouldn't be breaking up some every now and again for like a second because I noticed that had been happening and I had bought extenders and these little Wi-Fi extender hotspot things where like you pull off the signal from this box that connects to the main Ethernet, and they kind of work, but not really. But I think I finally got my shit figured out.
Yeah,
So
dude, you're coming across clear on my end.
Good.
What?
But I gotta
Okay,
say,
Christian.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
I
Take
was
us
just
off.
gonna say, what a way to open this movie, man. God of
Beautiful
Thunder.
house.
God.
Oh fuck yeah! People, let's just say this right now. Let's get into Zombie on a positive note. I don't think anybody can hate on his musical taste for these movies because Zombie is a pure 70s guy. And it seems like he doesn't have to deal with, oh, we can't get this song for the movie. I think when he told Miramax my movie's going to open with God of Thunder, that movie was going to open with God of Thunder. There wasn't a debate about it. I think he gets what he wants when it comes to his music.
Also, Christian, I think it's partially due to him being in the industry as a musician and being a very prominent one. Rob can get whatever song he wants. I mean,
think so.
regardless of what the studio thinks, Rob can probably talk to these dudes himself and be like, I want to use this for my movie. Work this out with a studio about however much money you want. You know what I mean? Like,
Probably so. I wouldn't doubt it. You know, I'm sure some studios probably owe him a favor with his music. His music's still one of the few in that genre that sell. So
yeah.
I'm sure.
What a transformation too for our good buddy here, Ronnie, played by
William Forsythe.
Warren? Yeah, I was like, why am I forgetting his name? Forsythe. Last time we saw him in Devil's Rejects, he was a sheriff, and now he's seen better days, man.
He there's legendary stories that some of my friends have told me about him at horror conventions. He wears short shorts. He dresses like a bum to the conventions, and people have said that they have seen his nuts hang out of his shorts at conventions.
It seems like such a William Forsythe thing, man.
Yeah. Let me ask you this right at the top. This isn't necessarily a Rob Zombie question, but in your opinion, what is the best Sherry Moon performance? Because I have an answer because I rewatched something and my wife even liked it on a rewatch.
Man. Okay, so it's this or Devil's Rejects, I think. Although Lords of Salem, she does surprisingly really well in that movie too. So I don't understand why she gets so much hate because there are movies that I do feel like she's just kind of there. Like 31, I don't think
31.
she's just there.
31 would have been a good video game.
Yeah, and Halloween 2. She's barely plays a role in it. She's really just a zombie, no pun intended. So like, but I don't know, man. I think the popular answer would be Devil's Rejects, but Lords of Salem, I think she's pretty damn good in.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
She's very controlled in Lords of Salem, and people I think Lords of Salem could be the Rob Zombie movie for people that don't like Rob Zombie movies. Granted, I agree. I mean, I don't hate the ending, but surely it's left up to it's like a fever dream, if you will, and it's almost a non-ending, which is kind of like art house style in a way, but art house and Rob Zombie should never really mix.
No, it's very just anticlimactic. Like it builds up to this really big thing, and you don't really get clarity on all of it, and it's just kind of like, it always leaves me like I'm an hour and 20 minutes into that movie, and I'm just having a fucking ball, and then we get to the very end, and I'm like, God, it's not bad, but you could have nailed it, and you just didn't nail it. Had he nailed that ending, that would easily be unquestionably Rob Zombie's best movie. I think.
I
I
think it's
really
up
do.
there, man. I'd have to. I did a ranking years ago. I haven't watched it since I did it, but
I still got to. For me, it's Halloween 2, just because it's just character development, acting, directing, realism. I mean, it's all there, man.
yeah.
Halloween 2 is the shit.
But let's talk. Let's talk about this movie. You know,
Yeah, there's Junie from Spy Kids. Yep.
yeah. It's funny because I didn't recognize him. I didn't put two and two together that was him for quite some time. The same way I didn't put two and two together until a few days ago that the cop mom from Scream 5, the blonde hair woman, that's Susie Peppercorn from The Sandlot.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course it is. What do you mean, well, Christian? You didn't know that? Like, of
Yeah.
course it's her, because she still looks fantastic. She's not
Yeah.
old though, and say, but
No, she is a very attractive woman. But yeah, no. So I remember watching this for the first time. I saw this opening day in theaters with my buddies Tommy and Chris and their dad, because their dad was a really big fan of the original Halloween, obviously having seen it when it first came out in the 70s. And I remember we got to this point and he was like audibly groaning like next to us just because of all the shit we'd already heard so far, the stuff we heard at the dinner table or the breakfast table. And then you're hearing how these kids are talking a little, Michael. And like
right.
we could tell Steve was like,
sucker tits.
yeah, Steve was like, oh, come on. This is hard. But I will always, I guess I'll always feel like Rob Zombie's Halloween is a movie that after the first act, which is very abrasive, like it is a very abrasive first half, and it's not just the dialogue. There's a lot of like it. They try to tell his childhood story very quickly, and I mean, 10 minutes in the movie, he's killing someone. So it's like it's abrasive, but if you get past that, it really becomes fun. It really does. Like I love the
I
second half
agree.
of this movie. It's so fun.
I'd almost be okay if the movie started exactly of seeing Dr. Loomis walk into the school right there, and this is the start of the movie. Because
Yeah.
I get it, man. Like I find the kitchen scenes like, you know, it's funny. Everybody hates it, but what's the most quotable thing
I'll
from
skull
that
fuck the
scene?
shit out of you.
Nobody forgets it.
Yeah.
For better or worse, nobody forgets it ever.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the purpose of cinema? I guess for me, it's entertainment and stuff like that. But it's just like, to me, one of the greatest things a movie can do is have a line that nobody forgets.
Yeah,
Luke, I'm your
leave.
father,
Mhm.
and I'll skull fuck the shit out of you. Like those.
Yeah,
That's the two
leave a
greatest.
lasting impression, man. Leave a lasting impression.
And, dude,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's better than Donald
Oh,
Pleasance.
thank
but
you. You're about to praise him. Praise him.
Of course, how could you not love fucking Malcolm McDowell? He's a legend. He's just as iconic in different ways. I mean, we're talking Clockwork Orange. We're talking Cat People. I mean, this is one of the best actors of all time playing this character.
No,
What are we talking about?
This
You know?
was the single best casting in this movie.
Home run.
The single best. And right after him, Brad Dourif. I mean, people give shit to Rob Zombie all the time about working with the same people and always casting Sherry Moon in all of his movies, but they totally ignore the fact that in every single movie he gets horror icons in every fucking movie, dude. Like in this movie alone, you've got Brad Dourif, Malcolm McDowell, Ken Foree. Like the dude is just,
it's a who's who of horror.
yes.
You know?
And I mean, it's like, and we even had Adrienne Barbeau. She only makes it on the bonus features in a deleted scene, but she
Right.
was initially supposed to be in the movie. So like Rob Zombie has street cred. He can get these fuckers in a movie. Like
Without
I
question.
just, yeah, man. I know Malcolm McDowell. I've always loved him as Loomis. Always.
Now I got to be honest with you. I do over exaggerate with my distaste for the look of the kid, but I like the look of the kid in Halloween 2 better than this kid. I'm sorry. This kid is just too ridiculous looking for me. I think they should have gone a little bit. I like the kid from Halloween 2. Whoever that kid was, I liked him.
That is Chase Wright Van Eck.
I liked him.
Yeah. And this is Dag Faerch. And
More power to him, but I don't know. It's the
He's not as
strangest casting for zombie for me.
he's not menacing, man. Like it's hard to it's not impossible to believe, but it is hard to believe that this kid would be beating Junie right here with a log to death. You know what I mean? Like
right.
I just by the way, this scene in theaters, like I remember just being like, okay, this is what we're in for, huh? Like,
I loved it in the theaters. I'm
oh, dude,
assuming you if okay, I saw it when I was 2007. I was born in 92. So in 2007 I
you're
was
15.
I know I didn't sneak in to get it. My theater really didn't care. Did you sneak in, or was your theater just like fuck it? You
No,
already
we had our buddy's dad with us.
That's right.
So
And he didn't
yeah.
go with y'all to Halloween too, right? He was like,
No.
fuck you guys, I'm not
Nope.
going.
He drove us to Halloween too, but dropped us off. Yep. No, I was 13, yeah. And man,
I loved this movie in the theater when
so did
back
I.
then.
And so did Tommy and Chris. All three of us walked out and we were like, we loved it. Steve was just like, nah,
Y'all are fucking
the original's
crazy.
better. Like it's like, well, yeah, but
It's interesting looking back. Me, my brother, my friend Brady, one of my best friends, Devin Briscoe, a bunch of us. We went to this movie to see it. We weren't Halloween fanatics at the time. Most of them still aren't, but we went and saw a horror movie. That's what we went to go do that night. We went because we were fans of Rob Zombie's music and we wanted to see a horror movie, and we enjoyed it. I almost wish I could go back to, and it's not necessarily a Halloween thing. There's something about there's something I cherish about having being less critical and being more naive when you're younger and you're able to enjoy things more. I wish I could, and I try to let myself do that now and just forget about this or that. That was probably one of the most fun nights me and my friends had seeing this movie. I mean, it was like going to a fucking rock show. I mean, we were on the edge of our seat the whole time seeing this movie. We had a blast, man. This captured a certain era of our lives that, you know, more so this one than two, because by two I had my friends that I had graduated, and I had different friends that went with me to go see it, and that was a great experience too. And when we cover part two on the show, we get into that, but man, this was a lovely part of my life right here. 2007. I mean, it was a golden era for my life, man.
yeah,
Back.
I can relate, man, because the way I always love this scene.
Oh man.
Judith, I'm gonna be late.
I kind of relate to
notice,
Forsyth here.
yeah, and he watch him slap him on his ass. He backhands him on his ass when he stands up, and I always thought that was funny because it's like all you've seen up to this point with him is him being a dick to Michael, but you realize in that one little moment right there, like he actually does like the kid. He's just a piece of shit. Like, so it's a nice little subtle character moment. But
It's the alcohol talking, basically, when he gets all. God, Sherry is smoking right here, man.
Dude, she's so hot in this movie, and yeah. But no, I can relate, man, because this movie was right when my fandom for the series started. I bought the 78 movie on DVD in late 06, and that's the very first that's when I started collecting the series, which was more than half of my life ago, which is wild.
Crazy.
Yeah, but
Time flies.
yeah, man, I just remember the hype for this movie and the second one because it was just like the peak of me getting into the series and collecting it. It was awesome. I mean, it was awesome, and yeah, I have very, very fond memories too. But dude, look at the set design, man. Like that's another thing Rob Zombie does so well. The fucking sets are awesome.
Oh, they're lovely. Just that. Oh, and I was watching Sean Clark's episode about this movie. Damn, Sherry. Jesus have mercy. Anyway, this bar is actually tiny, but it does look massive on the movie. But when Sean visited it on his episode, I was like, God, it really is like a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
That was just surprising to me because it does. I guess it's the wide lenses and stuff like that. But damn it, Sherry. Killing me with that ass.
I know, right? It's like she's great. She's great.
I wonder if Rob gets his rocks off on seeing
Oh,
his wife.
dude, he does. And you know, I know another. I've always felt like Rob does this on purpose, just to be like, "Hey guys, look how hot my wife is. Aren't you jealous?" It's like, yeah, Rob, kind of. You dick. Like,
I think so.
which I don't blame him. I mean, if your wife's hot and she wants to show it off, let her show it off.
Dude, her in House with 1,000 Corpses, I would walk 1,000 miles.
But dude, okay, so I guess this is a good moment to bring this up because I'm just gonna say it. I thought that she looked smoking in the Munsters trailer as Lily Munster. I thought she looked gorgeous.
I think, yeah, she's still gorgeous. But
I
it's
know,
funny you
but
bring it. It's funny you brought that up. Oh, I'll tell you where else she looks hot. In my opinion, the second best zombie album, the one that came out in 2016, the Witch Dispenser Orgy
Yeah, yeah.
Manifesto. That album is fantastic. But she did the music video for Gore Whore, the hideous times of a Gore Whore, whatever.
Mhm.
That girl is a gore. That music video is great, but she's all in that, and she just looks great. But, dude, nobody likes this trailer, and I remember you said something like, you know, guys, I let's just see what happens, because I think the trailer is intentionally kind of making it seem a little. The complaints people were saying was, "Wow, this looks really bad and cheap," and you want to call it bad, that's fine. If people want to call it bad, I'm not going to argue that. I will give you pushback on cheap though. I don't see how it looked cheap. I thought it looked pretty damn nice, quite frankly. So that was a little surprising to me, seeing the response.
The trailer didn't do it justice, and that's why I'm not worried about it, because Christian, you and I know, and by the way, this was pretty much confirmed. Rob Zombie said a week ago they just wrapped. And we just got a trailer. Yeah, he lied. This movie's been done. Brad Miska, I got to give Brad credit. I've been talking to him for years. He's of Bloody Disgusting. He's a good dude. He called this a year ago. He said, this movie's done. Like, I know for a fact this movie's done. And Christian and I have talked about it on the podcast. Like, how the fuck are they filming in Budapest, Hungary, when he's got like 4 concerts next week?
Yeah, he's touring. He's in he's in Salt Lake City right now.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
It's been done. I think what it was they filmed it in secret before they announced it. And then they announced it. Maybe Universal wanted to see what they had first. And then once they saw it, they were like, fuck yeah. But people got to understand, Universal backed this. Is, you know, this is their baby. The Munsters is a property they've had for a very long time. They gave Rob Zombie $40 million. I think that they're happy with the final product. So I think we just need to wait to see what that product is. But dude, the trailer didn't do it justice, because a lot of the trailers, a lot of like character moments and up close shots of people, and like you didn't really get a sense of like the landscape. They literally rebuilt Mockingbird Lane. Like they literally did that. So I'm not worried at all. I think the set pieces are going to be amazing. I can't wait. I think that the trailer is intentionally supposed to give off the retro campy vibe. You know what? Every time I've watched the trailer, I'm like, good on you, Sherry. Like, she really doesn't sound like herself at all. Like,
I thought she was fine. Yeah,
she's really hamming it up as a Lily, and I really dug it. I dug it.
It's gonna be a harmless, fun little movie that your kids can watch. You hear that, people? Your kids can watch. So I don't know. It's vitriolic is my issue with it. It's vitriolic.
Gotta have a reason to not like Rob Zombie.
I just, you know, I've had friends that say that wasn't for me. That's fine, but I've seen people say stuff like, "Who the fuck is giving this guy money? What's wrong with y'all? Can we please get rid of this guy?" I'm just like, the guy, I just don't get it. If you're not a fan of him, that's one thing. You don't have to like it. You can criticize his work all day long, but some people have to see what they sound like. What is the guy doing that's making you so vitriolic?
Yeah.
It's got to stop, people. I mean, listen, it's 2022, for God's sakes. I mean, more power to the guy. I always want to see Rob succeed. You know why? Because he does what he wants when he wants, and he doesn't look to see what's popular or what to do. He does what he wants to do. He's got a great marriage with his wife, and they're a team. I fucking applaud that. They are a team, and I will always give credit to that. If I was a director and I wanted my wife to be in my movies and people shat on her, you think I would stop putting in my movies because people said she couldn't act or didn't like her? No, it's my wife. I
Yeah.
think it's awesome what he's doing. That doesn't mean I like everything he does. I've criticized his movies. There's things about this movies I'm going to criticize.
But let me tell you something right here. This ain't something to criticize because
That's
this kill
brutal.
is fucking brutal, man.
Oh, Jesus. I
And
like this movie, man. I got
I do.
problems with it, but I like this movie.
I do too. And let me tell you something. I remember watching the behind the scenes of this scene.
Oh, God. Damn. Go
Just
ahead.
the sound design too. Listen, just listen to this shit.
That whelping brain sound.
Just yeah, and then the bat.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yummy. And Rob does something so great here too that people like. He doesn't do enough. He leaves a lot to your imagination. He doesn't show that happening, and he only shows a real close-up look for like 2 seconds. He doesn't show you the just absolute brutal carnage of this dude's face or anything like that. And that's cool because that moment is effective enough just with the fucking sound.
Yeah. I never thought about that.
Yeah. So Rob has restraint, guys. He does. He just I think he's a gore whore himself. So he likes to show it a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. But dude, we got to give credit to while we're watching this movie and talking about this movie. The documentary, the 4.5-hour documentary, Michael Lives, is one of the single most entertaining, informative making ofs I've ever seen of one movie.
Without question.
If you get a documentary of like a series, it might be like 2 hours, 3 hours long. This was one fucking movie and it was 4.5 hours. And it starts from pre-production when they're scouting locations and shit all the way to post-production. It's incredible every day on set. And it's really cool to see these people behind the scenes, like on set and how they interact with each other and the vibe. The vibe on the set was really good, man. It seemed like everybody really got along with each other. Everybody was they were really stoked about what they were doing.
Sure.
And that's part of the reason we'll never get a Halloween 2 documentary, which we'll get into when we get to that episode down the road. But the vibe wasn't the same because the Weinstein Company and Dimension were trying to, blue ball Rob Zombie.
All the more reason that I want to see it.
I know. Because he did it anyway. We've seen Halloween 2. Shit they didn't want him to do, he did it anyway. So I just want to see the moments behind the scenes where he's like, yeah, fuck that. I'm doing it anyway. Like, I just want to see that. I think it'd be funny.
And the fact that Malik Akkad likes that movie, that's all I need.
Yeah, Malik has spoken very highly of Rob Zombie's tenure in the Halloween franchise, saying he's proud of the 2 entries, but he's also said, but it was time to go in a different direction. And I think he's speaking more from the fans' perspective there. Like,
sure,
I'm proud of it, but it seemed like the fans wanted to go a different way. And
that's what we did.
But what would you rather have, Christian, this movie or a sequel to Resurrection? And if you say sequel to Resurrection, I know someone's going to say it in the comments. No. Resurrection, when that movie ended, it should have never, ever continued from that point forward. Never.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's like, guys, come on. I mean, I get it. And the funny thing was, you'll see people, and I get it. There's nothing wrong with the conversation and making YouTube videos about it, but I'll have people that'll do videos or comments like, why we need a sequel to Resurrection. And it's basically because they just want a sequel to Resurrection. They don't talk about why it would be financially viable to do or not, because there is no financial viability to that. There's zero. No. There's less than zero.
I think it's because people just want the original canon back.
It's the movie business, guys. It just doesn't work like that. We have to understand that. They made the right decision, obviously. And the interesting thing was, Rob said that the Weinsteins didn't even tell him to do a remake. They're just like, Halloween, what do you want to do? Yeah.
Look, watch. He trips over a cable, and this actually happened. They just kept it in the movie.
Which is crazy, because that happened in the original, too.
Yeah. tripped over a fucking wire on the ground and just kept going.
Yep.
But no, you're absolutely right, man. I think a lot of the reason why people want it to continue, like some people still want a sequel to Resurrection, is simply just to give back to the old timeline. Because like they're like, oh, but that was the golden era of Halloween. It's like, was it really though? Because by the time we got to Resurrection, we had like 4 different fucking storylines. Like,
I get it, man. Like I get it, but it's like
where
you
do
know
you
what,
go
man?
from there?
Yeah, it's like it's time to move on. And
You'd have to bring Busta back because he survived Resurrection. So you got to bring Busta Rhymes back. Everybody would love that. Like, there's just nowhere to go. The Myers house is burned to the fucking ground.
and I can hear the comments already. No, there certainly is a place to go from there. And no, you don't have to bring Buster Rhymes back. Blah blah blah. But the thing is, guys, you can't do it. And everybody knows this. I get it. It's like I get it, guys. I swear, but that's just not how the movie business works. Resurrection was panned. It did okay money wise, but it was clear that when the reception's bad on a movie, it's not going to be as successful the next go around.
It was exactly the situation of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 to his first.
They made
Halloween.
the right decision. They stopped. They made the right decision.
H2O makes a lot of money, is critically well received. Resurrection makes half of what H2O is and gets bombed by critics. Rob Zombie's Halloween does okay critically for a remake at least, and does really well financially. Halloween 2 slammed by critics and makes half of what Halloween made. That's when you know it's time. Like, okay, this isn't resonating with people anymore, because then just extrapolate those numbers. You make a Halloween 9, guess what? It's going to make half of what Resurrection made. So probably pump the brakes there. By the way, always got to give credit to this shot. This is always really impressive. This is not a freeze frame, people. Rob told everyone on set to stand still as possible, and they just panned the camera over to young Michael in the car. And funny little tidbit here, he's got his Nintendo DS in his hands. He was playing his Nintendo DS, waiting for them to say action. And he just turns his head and looks.
That's money.
Everyone was just standing still, but it doesn't look like it. It literally looks like a freeze frame.
Okay, I've told you about this, and I have had people watch this. I think it got pulled from YouTube, unfortunately. Somebody made a cut of this movie where it starts right here. Right here. The movie starts right here. And people are like, I can get down with this. I can get down with this. Which it is what it is. I like it the way it is for warts and all at this point. But God, look at Malcolm. How do you not love Malcolm fucking McDowell? One of the greatest actors of our generation, or of the past generation. I mean, this is the guy from A Clockwork Orange, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. I mean, what are we talking about? There's only one Dr. Loomis. What are you talking about? There's 2.
No, yeah, there's
you know
2,
what I mean?
And to diminish what Malcolm did with this movie is just criminal. It's just criminal, because I don't give a shit what you think about the movie as a whole. This dude does his part and does it very well.
Yeah, fantastic. I just love him.
I think he's got great chemistry with young Michael, and I think he even has good chemistry with adult Michael without Michael even saying a word.
Oh, he's fantastic. I love his long hair too, because I pretty much have the same hair as him right here, so I feel like
you're Dr. Loomis.
I feel like Dr. Loomis. I'm gonna start talking with an accent and wearing my glasses like that. But dude, he's great here. I mean, I just think he got into the psychology. What is Loomis? Is he a psychologist or a psychiatrist?
I don't know. I think he's a psychiatrist, technically.
I think so, yeah. Let's call him a psychiatrist. Like, I think he gets into that role perfectly right here, and he had such good intentions. Obviously, we're going to see what happens. I think Rob went with the Dr. Phil route for the sequel, which I thought was brilliant, because to me, it's like it goes with the realism of that movie. If you're going to go realism, go full realism. And what is a doctor going to want to do when he has a patient that becomes a worldwide phenomenon? He's going to want to make money off of it.
Oh, for sure.
Bottom line. That's not what the original timeline is, really. It's not realism.
Well, people say, well, it's just not what Donald Pleasance's Loomis would do. And it's like, well, there's a reason for that.
Because it's not Donald Pleasance.
Yes.
Fuck. God damn it, man.
But Donald Pleasance also, his Loomis, believed that Michael was dead, or not dead, was alive. He always believed he was alive and he was out there. This Loomis in Halloween 2, he thinks Michael's dead. Like, he genuinely believes this dude's fucking dead. So
Yep.
he's trying to profiteer off of it. Who's going to stop me? Michael? He's dead. Like,
Yep.
that's the difference. Loomis in the original movies never thought Michael was dead. So he was always on the hunt for him. But this Loomis, he's like, that fucker's dead. I don't know. Yeah, I've said that. I literally have gotten into like a sarcastic argument before. Oh, by the way, there's another horror icon, Danny fucking Trejo.
Fucking legend.
Yes. But I got into an argument once with someone, and I was being very sarcastic when they were talking about the Loomis turn in Halloween 2, and I said, yes, you're absolutely right. It's completely unrealistic for somebody to profiteer off of the misery of others when they were involved in a situation and use that situation to become rich and famous and turn into an asshole. Never happens in this country.
Like, just show him Dr. Phil.
That's what I'm saying,
What are you
dude. Like,
talking about,
that happens all the fucking time.
It's what it's,
God
dude.
damn.
It's like everybody's a capitalist, and that's that's America, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we all want to make money, so fuck yeah, he's gonna write a book.
Yeah,
For
he's retired. He's not a psychiatrist anymore. Hey, why not?
I gotta figure out, somebody on Etsy has to make it. It don't have to have pages in it, obviously, or words on the pages. Somebody's gotta make a mock-up of the devil. What's the name of the book?
The Devil's Eyes.
Somebody needs to make a mock-up of that book. That way I can have it, like, with like this, like a book of it. Like I said, the pages could be empty, but like I want that. Or just make a sleeve that you put around a novel, and I can take a novel that's about the same size for the sleeve and have it as like a fake prop. I think that would be cool.
Speaking of which, Christian, while I was on vacation, my younger brother, who is in a death metal band, I guess there's a death metal band out there in Florida near where he lives called, I'm going to butcher this name, Sanguisugabog.
Jesus Christ.
If anyone knows who they
metal
are.
bands, man.
I know, but I guess their first like record or whatever is called The Devil's Eyes, and he got a cassette version of it for me just because of the art. He was like, I thought you'd want it just because of the art. I'm like, sure. I'll try to show it up here. It's Nick Castle drinking the Dr. Pepper.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's actually on the cassette too. They've got that artwork.
That's money.
But yeah, that's the name of the band. So if anyone knows them that's listening, I've never heard of them. But he was like, I thought you'd want this. And
there you go.
I was like, yeah, I'll throw it up on the shelf just because of the artwork of it for sure. I mean, it's Halloween. He's like, he said they have songs on here that are like direct, like references to Halloween. Necrosexual deviant, posthumous compersion, dragged by a truck, gored in the chest, Turkish blood orgy.
Jesus Christ,
songs like that. And that's what my brother's into, man. I
can't do that stuff, dude.
He's 18 in 2 days, and he's got this long black hair to his shoulders, and got like
God bless him, man.
Yeah, I know that's his thing, man. But yeah, I was like, thought that'd be cool. We were talking about the Devil's Eyes. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of music, real quick, for anybody that is a fan of my band Cold Canyons, by the time you guys hear this, our new single Mud has hit all the streaming platforms, so go check that out. New song called Mud.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of which, when do you plan to drop this?
Tomorrow.
Okay.
What's tomorrow? Friday?
Yep.
Yeah, Friday.
I'm back to work, man.
You'll have something to listen to then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of podcasts I got to catch up with, man. I have like multiple regular podcasts that I listen to every week that they like all dropped episodes while I was on vacation. And we found out we had Wi-Fi like 3 days into the trip.
Right.
But even then, it was like terrible, spotty internet because you're in the middle of the fucking mountains in a canyon with a lake. So it's like, yeah, you got Wi-Fi, but not really. So yeah, I got a lot of that to catch up with myself. But hey, might as well just tell this to the people now because we're talking about this. No promises. You guys know for months now we've been trying our damnedest to get my idol. I'm kidding, but someone I've admired for a very long time, Scout Taylor Compton, onto this podcast. And we're really trying. We're hammering away at it, as well as other legendary figures in this series, Danielle Harris, people like that. We're trying our damnedest, guys. So just keep up the legwork. Keep doing the legwork for us too. Tagging them on social media, letting them know about the podcast. We want to get them on here. Scout, I love you in a totally normal way. Would love
Dude,
to.
ever, I'm gonna be a pig for just a second. Ever since Danielle Harris got the boob job, I'm struggling which one I like. I'm more sexually attracted to now.
Oh
Like I
man,
really am. They're both so fucking beautiful.
they are, man. Here's the thing, though. I feel like Danielle has always, like, ever since she became an adult, has been hot, and like Scout, it was different for me because she was like late teens, early 20s when these movies came out, and I was a teenager. So I guess I kind of looked at her as like a teenager, and I was like, well, she's cute, but she's turned into like,
A queen, dude.
yeah, dude, she's like a damn goddess at this
Yeah.
point. So, and if you girls are listening to this podcast now, because we've been trying, we've been trying to get them on. It's no secret. So maybe they looked us up and said, "What are these guys about?" Just know that we would totally be normal dudes talking to you. This is just us two horror nerds that we're just being honest with our listeners. Okay. But yeah, guys, we're really, really trying, and we're hoping to make that happen.
Yeah, fingers crossed, guys. We have a lead. We have a contact. We're gonna do what we can because I want you guys to be part of the show. If you have questions, and I mean, if we get Danielle Harris on, she has such a storied career. I mean, she has worked with Roseanne Barr, Sylvester Stallone. I mean, she has been, of course, we're gonna talk about Rob Zombie's Halloween and stuff like that, but like, she could give us some amazing stories about her life and her career. And
we could also have an exclusive, get an exclusive from her about what her opinion would be on coming back.
Coming back.
Yeah.
And even though I don't, it's like, dude, I'm a little torn. I personally would, to myself, I'm thinking like, you're really going to want to do a new storyline with her based off of her movies. Like, are people going to go see that at the theater? And quite frankly, even though part of me is like, I don't think that's really the right financial move, I would be lying if I wouldn't say like, fuck it, let's do it. I mean, I'm torn because I part of me is like, that's not going to be financially successful. I don't think.
But here's
nowhere
the thing:
near.
what
Maybe
we've
I'm
seen
wrong.
with this franchise, Christian, is every time you include Halloween in the title, it's gonna make its money back. They're never gonna lose money so long. Shit, they didn't even lose money with Halloween 3. So like,
Yeah,
so
that's still
long
got a
as
decently healthy profit,
it
not
made like
comparatively
30,
to 2, but
I think it made like 33 million or something like that. So, I'm just saying, this is always money. Whatever studio has the rights to distribute it at the time, they should understand no matter what storyline we take, we're not going to take a hit on this. We might not profit a ton, but we're not going to take a hit. And I don't think Danielle obviously is as big of a draw in the franchise as Jamie Lee, just because Jamie Lee can bring in so many older fans and casual fans. But Danielle has her fans, and the
without
Thorn
question.
trilogy has its fans. And I guarantee you that it would still do well. So Danielle, just know that I will be on that soapbox about wanting Jamie to come back. We'll forget Halloween 6, not because we don't like Halloween 6. We both love Halloween 6, but that wasn't you, and you died technically in it. So hey, we'll just do what they did with Laurie. We'll wipe out one of the sequels. We'll pick up right after 5, decades later, and we'll see how you're doing now as an adult.
Fuck it, dude. Whatever. Let's go. I just want to say this too. It's like, man, there are a lot of people out there that will shit on these movies and say, they're still making these fucking things. They should just fucking move on. They're stale. These movies haven't been good since blah blah blah. And you totally have you're totally fine to make that opinion and have that voice for it. But if it's just like, man, if this makes a lot of people happy, let them keep fucking making them for people to go enjoy. I mean, what is the harm in it? I don't, let people enjoy this shit, man. If they keep making them, God bless the fans. They have a new movie to go see.
Who are
Granted,
you to shit on?
I have directions I'd like to see it go in. I'd like to move on from Jamie Lee. I think she's done great things, but let's have somebody else do great things now. I mean, that's my personal opinion, but I mean, I'm not going to shit on them for continuing to make the movies.
No,
What good does that do?
who are you to shit on somebody's happiness and their nostalgia and whatever it may be?
How
As
dare you
someone that
make
is a
somebody feel
Halloween,
bad? How dare you make somebody feel bad about something they
yeah.
love?
If
I'm sorry.
if you are someone that loved Halloween Resurrection, good for you. You have every right to love that movie, and if it means a lot to you, don't let anybody's opinion of that movie take away what it means to you. And if you're someone that is just on pins and needles waiting for Halloween ends, good for you. I hope you're excited. I hope you can't fucking wait for that movie because as a diehard Halloween fan myself, there is nothing like seeing Michael Myers on the big screen
In the big screen,
again.
right?
There's just nothing like it. Like, I don't care. I remember watching 2018 in the theater in the first and second time I watched it, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. I was like, that's my dude. My dude's back. Like, he's killing people. Like, it doesn't matter what the fucking story is. When we get to the killing and stuff, I'm just like, that's my dude in his element. Like, there's nothing like that. So, and keep that same energy too. Because if this is who you are now, when a Friday the 13th movie or trilogy gets announced, or a Nightmare movie or trilogy gets announced or whatever, and you all are excited about it, just know that people like me and Christian will be happy for you, and we'll be happy too because you guys are happy. Because what does shitting on someone's happiness do for you? You know what I
Everybody's a
mean?
diehard fan of something.
Yeah.
Everybody is. Everybody loves something. Like for instance, yesterday the news broke that Pantera with Rex and the singer Phil Anselmo are doing a world tour. Now, obviously, the Abbott brothers have passed away, Daryl and Vinny, and there's speculation on who's going to be the guitar player. A lot of people think it'll be Zach Wilde because they grew up in bands together. They're very close friends, and it makes sense to have Zach take the job. Nobody knows who's going to be drummer, but of course, there is a vocal percentage that are like, this is fucking blasphemous. Fuck this. And there are other people that were saying, I really appreciate that Phil and Rex are going to do this because there are a generation of fans that never got a chance to see Pantera live. And even though the Abbott brothers aren't going to be there, the whole tour is a tribute to those brothers and the big part of the band that they were and the sound that they created. And even though they're not going to be there, it's going to be a love fest for those guys. And younger fans can have an experience to see what it felt like to be at the closest thing of what we can get now to a Pantera show. God bless those people that are going to go see that band next year and get to see Rex and get to see Phil Anselmo, half of the band, perform. I mean, it's just like, dude, I'm over shitting on people's happiness. Like, there are times, Ralph, when I wasn't happy, I do that. I'm just fucking overdoing that, dude. What good does it do? It's not just movies. I mean, it's everything. It's music. It's fucking clothes people wear. Oh, fuck people that wear Ed Hardy shit. That's so 2009. It's just like, come on, dude. Just give it a rest.
Yeah, no, and Christian and I have talked about this privately. I mean, someone like myself has been at the butt end of it for the past 5 years, ever since Blumhouse took over Halloween and 2018 was getting made. It's just been the popular thing to shit on my franchise and my fans. And, it's like, dude, I mean, if you're a horror fan, you don't have to be like a Halloween fan. Like, we're all horror fans too. Halloween just tends to be our favorite. Like, Christian is a horror fan. Halloween isn't his favorite, but he's a horror fan. So it's like, but we all have an affinity for Halloween, or at least some of the movies in that series.
It's hard
So,
not to, man. It's such a part of the. Yeah, I mean,
it's just times change, people. Like, you got to understand that the Halloween movie you're going to get this year ain't going to be what you got 45 fucking years ago. And that's okay, because there's a generation of kids that are going to love this new trilogy, and this is going to be their Halloween. Like,
Yep.
my mom, her Halloween is Halloween and Halloween 2. That is her Halloween. Her Friday the 13th is Friday 1 and 2. Like, that is her generation of those movies, and she'll always hold those near and dear to her heart. Christian and I,
This
whether
is
we
our
like it or not,
generation, what we're
this,
watching right now.
yes, this is our generation, the early to mid 2000 shit. Like, this is when we were old enough to go see these movies in theaters and grow up with these movies. And like, so like movies like this, The Hills Have Eyes remake, you know, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 03, those movies, they were our generation, and we have a like fondness for those movies. And yeah, a lot of times we like the originals better and we appreciate them more. But again, this new generation of kids is gonna, you know, they're gonna love these Halloween movies, and these are gonna be their Halloween movies. And dude, who gives a shit how they got into the franchise? Like, oh, they didn't become fans till Halloween Kills. They don't know a good Halloween movie. Dude, that means they're gonna go back and watch all the old movies and appreciate them, and like appreciate something you love that you've always appreciated. And isn't that cool? Like, and it might not be their generation of Halloween movie, but like, so I don't fucking get it, man. I really don't get it, and it's dumb. It's really dumb. You sound like, Christian, can we just call it out like it is? You sound like an old man yelling at a cloud in his front yard when these movies keep getting made, and you go, it wasn't as good as it was back in my day. I miss when they used to do movies like this. Get over it, dude. Those
Go
movies
enjoy
are
those
still,
movies.
yeah,
Go
they're
enjoy
still
'em.
there. Yeah, they're still there. I don't know if you guys know that. They're
I'm
actually
gonna still
there.
enjoy them.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get
So
it twisted, man. I mean, look, you could see Nick's posters, but above my TV right now is the original and Halloween 3. And they're there for a reason. Like, I'm with you guys. Trust me. I'm with you guys. Like, you ain't replacing those movies. You're not going to do it. You can't replace you cannot do anything that's going to equate to the value of time with a movie. Just can't do it. Time is such an important factor with a movie like Halloween 3, with a movie like Jason Takes Manhattan. The movies were fucking, nobody liked them. And then time grows, fan bases grow. You can't do that. It's like, and that's why it's like you're not going to have this movie Halloween Ends. I hope it's fucking awesome. Like I said with the episode with Lee, why can't that be the best one out of the next 3? Tell me why it can't. Why can't it? But that doesn't mean I think it's going to be the original. It's not because the original has over 40 years of a legacy. You cannot duplicate that in a movie in real time. You can't do it. No. And I think that's what people have to realize. You cannot fake time.
I'll just say, Christian, Halloween Ends had 2 public test screenings.
And they were good.
Night, and the reactions are positive. People that were in the test screenings, no one has spoiled it. Thank God. They've really so far held true to their NDAs and have said, I'm not gonna spoil this for people. Right. But 2 takeaways I've heard so far. 1, they take the title very seriously. It ends. Like, this shit is ending. So you better prepare yourself for what you're gonna get. This is gonna tie shit up very nicely, from what I've heard. So prepare for an ending, at least for a little bit. We know how that goes. And 2, what I heard was there were a lot of laughs, clapping moments, and the end of the movie had a lot of the auditorium out of their seats cheering. So, and let me tell you something. We didn't hear those reactions from Halloween Kills. Right before Halloween Kills came out, we were hearing, I don't know, man. And guess what? It reflected that way. The fan base and critics were split on that movie. And I really enjoy Kills, but I'm just going to say this one sounds like it's going to be a crowd pleaser. And you know what? If David Gordon Green is a filmmaker that's worth a damn, he's going to take the criticisms he got from Halloween Kills and improve upon them with this movie. So why don't we give it the fucking chance, guys? Like, just give it the fucking chance.
You're going to see it anyway.
Yes, you're going to go see it, and you're going to make your videos. And if, and some of you already know in your head, I'm just going to
make your videos.
Yeah. Some of you guys are in your head already are like, I'm going to fucking hate this movie. So guess what? Even if you go see the best movie you've ever seen, you won't admit it. You'll just be like, movie fucking sucked, but I knew it would suck. Who the fuck wants to go into a movie like that? Christian, when's the last time you went into a movie at the theater and we're like, this is gonna suck fucking
I'll
ass.
tell you exactly. I'll tell you exactly when the last time was. And I'm a man of my word. I talked about this on a previous episode, and I said I was wrong, and I should not go into movies like this. Evil Dead 2013. I said this movie's gonna fucking suck. Evil Dead is Bruce Campbell. Well, guess what? Evil Dead is not Bruce Campbell. Evil Dead is good movies, period. Like, that's what a Evil Dead movie is to me. So that's the last time I truly said I'm gonna fucking hate this movie, and I was wrong. So I learned my lesson. Shut the fuck up. That's the lesson I learned.
Exactly, people. Don't go into Halloween Ends thinking you're going to hate it, because then you might walk out and you might have enjoyed it, but you'll come out like, it wasn't that good, though. Nah, dude, just go in with an open mind. Plus, you don't know how long it'll be before you see Myers again after this movie. We had to wait a fucking decade after Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and it fucking sucked. As a Halloween fan, it sucked. I know what Christian is going through right now as a Freddy fan. I have fucking been there when it was quiet on all fronts, and every now and then, oh, we're going to get a new movie. No, just kidding. Like, I know what that shit is like, and it fucking sucks when you just want to see your fucking your horror icon back on the big screen. So fucking relish this shit, dude. Like, we're in a golden age for horror. Again, Christian, this is the second time in you and I's lives that we've had a resurgence in this shit. Yeah. That's cool as fuck to live through.
And you really get the best of both worlds too, because on Shudder, it's a gateway to foreign horror, and they've made movies from Asia, like The Sadness, which is basically like an Asian Evil Dead movie, which is just phenomenal, reach an American audience. So it's like there are some people that will say, well, these studios focusing on these big franchises like this, it's stopping original ideas from coming out, and there may be some truth to that. You know, I don't know. I don't know what these big studios in America think about their homeland distribution and what they want to promote and push out. But it's not like there's no it's not like you don't have variations of what you can see. Shudder is a gateway of worldwide horror, and they promote stuff and they curate stuff very well. And like movies like The Sadness got huge traction, and people enjoy that movie all over the world. So I mean, we really are in a golden age, not only just from that, just from you have the world at your fingertips with technology. So there's nothing to be upset about in any facet of horror. I mean, certainly there is some stuff to be upset about, but in the grand scheme of things, you know, we're in a great place, a fantastic place with horror right now. I can watch anything I want to watch from around the globe right now and find out about stuff that would never make it to theaters in America, but because of Shudder and places like that, man, the word of mouth is amazing. Word of mouth is still extremely powerful in a digital world. So we have nothing to complain about.
No. By the way, Christian, did you see them nasty ass toes?
Oh, dude. So I didn't realize that they built this bathroom.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
And it was supposed to be like a flimsy like stall. And the art department, I guess, didn't.
They built it too.
Yes, they built like a legitimate stainless steel stall door and shit. So when he's beating the fuck out of Ken 4E and breaks that stall, yeah, dude,
he broke it.
And Ken 4E even said that too. He's like, I knew I wanted to sell this scene, man. So like I let him get physical. Like we were getting physical, man. Like, because that's two big ass dudes right there.
God damn. That is terrifying, dude.
Yeah. It's not even a fight either. He gets one punch. Like, yeah, he does get one punch in on him, but that's it. One punch, and then bam.
God, man.
And he punched Tyler there. Tyler's talked about it, that he's like, yeah, Ken punched me. Like, he hit me in the face there.
Dude, Ken is a grown-ass man, too. He's at least 6'2" or something. I know he's a big dude because I was watching Keenan and Kel the other day, and Roger Rockmore stands so much taller than both Keenan and Kel. It's like, Ken has to be a fairly tall dude.
Yeah.
But Tyler's a fucking monster.
This is a great transition. I always loved that.
This is where the movie starts for a lot of people.
This second half.
Money.
It's great. Like, it's money. Great. I love the cast.
D. Wallace.
D. Wallace. I mean.
Love D. The Howling. Critters. Legend.
E.T. She's fucking amazing, and
Cujo.
she and she still looks great as an older woman too. I mean, Dee Wallace is legendary, but yeah, I mean, no, the second half of this movie is so fun, and it unfolds at a breakneck pace too, dude. It's like it's not a lot of like. That's one thing I have always respected about this movie. You cannot give it shit for. It is a remake of Halloween, but a lot of things happen in totally different places in totally different ways. Like Linda and Bob are at the Myers house; they're not at the Wallace house. The ending of the movie takes place at the Myers house, not at the Doyle house. Annie doesn't die in this movie. Like he does change shit up. Like
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. I think it's really fun. And by the way, we're about to see what year was this? 07. So we're about to see like a 30-year-old Danielle Harris playing a 17-year-old, and I totally buy it.
She's perfect. I didn't know who she was at that point when I saw it in theater. So when I realized later who it was, I was like, holy shit. Like Danielle Harris just didn't, she ages like twice as slow as every other human being. And didn't this take place actually pretty close to the real Halloween Street, or is that?
Yes, yeah. So I've been here, and I might send pictures to Christian for reference if he wants to put them up. But this house pretty much looks the same, and it's about 2 blocks away. I think it's about 2 blocks away. Well, actually, later on in the movie, I'll give you some more insight to that street because we're going to revisit that street again later in the movie. But this street right here, walking past the old Myers house, again, it's about 2 to 3 blocks. It's actually, I think, 2 blocks away from the original Myers house, where the Myers house sits today. Rob intentionally filmed in the same neighborhood, and kudos to him for not using the same streets to like almost like try to replicate it identically, but like you can't say he didn't nail the neighborhood because he literally used the same fucking neighborhood.
Yeah,
So
it
like,
works. It works.
it's very reminiscent of 78. Yeah, no, it was so cool. I'm on Google looking at all these places, and I'm like, I'm here at the original Myers house. I'm like, okay, where's this shit from Rob Zombie's Halloween? It's like, oh, 4-minute walk. I'm like, that fucking close? Like shit, dude. And some of these streets, you don't even realize it. And you pull onto the street and you're like, where's the house at? And then it's just there. And you're like, yeah, I couldn't mistake that fucking house. Like that's.
Did you ever see any other fans looking around at shit when you were doing it?
Yeah, the original Myers house, there was a girl and a guy. She was wearing a Halloween shirt. They got out of a car with a camera when I was getting out of the car.
That's wild, dude.
And then where else did I see fans?
You saw the Elm Street house too, right? You were right there.
Yeah. I saw the Elm Street house. Yeah, because that's like 2 blocks away. So H2O, just the street from the opening of H2O where Jimmy and all them live. And then I also saw the by the way, one of the best fucking mask on moments in this entire series right here. This shit is dope.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
But and then I saw the entrance to the Academy Hillcrest from H2O. And they still have that big fucking gate at the door, which was cool.
Nice.
But yeah, the coolest thing was going to the hospital from Halloween 2 because it's a VA hospital now. And if you've watched the documentary the Horror Hollow Grounds with Sean Clark, he mentions how we couldn't get footage at the hospital because it's a VA hospital. It's closed off to the public now.
Right. Well, yeah, I saw that episode today because I was like, dude, sometimes I like to go back and just revisit the Halloween 3 one, Horror Hollow Grounds. It's so entertaining.
Yeah. Well, luckily for us, there was a hole in one of the fences. And I told my wife, I was like, I'm going through there. She's like, are you sure? I was like, I'm going. Are you coming with me?
I'm here.
Like,
okay. I'm doing it.
And we did it. And I walked through the entire campus. I got photos of the back area where the cop gets killed. And I got photos and videos of all of it, of all the entrances, everything like that. It was so fucking cool. We didn't get bothered once. Not one person came outside. The only thing that bothered us was a Domino's car was driving by. And he comes up to us and he goes, did you guys see that coyote up there? It's like, no. He's like, there's just a coyote at the top of the street. And then we walked a couple feet away. The fucking coyote just standing at the top of the street in the middle of the day. I was like, oh, Oh, there's the coyote. But yeah, dude, it was such a trip seeing all these places, man. A lot of them look so just the same. Like, and that is actually the original Strode House from 1978's Halloween.
Let me ask you this: what year is this supposed to be right here?
We don't know. Rob was ambiguous, but if I had to guess, this would probably be close to modern day,
Yeah,
early
because
2000s, mid
That
2000s.
Mustang right there looked
Yep.
like it was like a 98, 99 Mustang, that white
Yeah,
Mustang.
and then the opening would have been the early 90s, but he intentionally didn't tell us. So
It sure felt very 70s in the beginning, though.
it does,
She was
but
listening to
then
Blue
it's
Oyster Cult on a
uh-huh.
record player. Sherry's hair was very, very Flower Girl 70s.
He said he didn't want to date the movie. Like he
Right.
didn't want to give it a time frame because 20 years from now people might be like, "Oh, I can't really watch this. It's just too dated." Which isn't always true because I still feel like you can watch the original Halloween and it
Is that
feels
Dade guy, right? The guy
that's
that Timo worked with?
Udo Kier. Yes.
Not
Yep.
that's who I meant to say. Udo.
Love Udo
That's a
Kier.
scary looking dude. Oh, there's Clint Howard.
Yeah.
Clint, the ice cream man.
Yep.
Dude, so Clint Howard, I don't know if you have Shudder or not. I think I've talked to you
I
about.
do.
I have you ever watched the Joe Bob Briggs show?
I've caught dozens of
how
clips from online, but no, I haven't watched like a full episode of it.
You know, he did Halloween's 4 and 5. They were really fun episodes. I think Danielle was on there. Pretty sure she was on there. Maybe she wasn't, but they did the episodes. But Clint Howard did the show, and like he now hates them because he thought they were making fun of him about something, which they weren't. But I don't know. Clint's a strange old man now, but that's a shame. I think Rob Zombie would be awesome on that show if they could ever get him. I've gone back and listened to that Joe Rogan episode a couple of times just because it's like one of the only few times you ever hear Rob comfortably just talk about some of the shit he went through. Unfortunately, it's surface level, and I was really bummed out that Joe didn't really know more about Rob's shit. But I don't blame Joe. He interviews all kinds of people, but when he just starts to get into the making of Halloween 2, they switch gears. I'm like, fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Damn it. This is right when 3 from Hell came out. But
yeah, dude, someone let Rob unload about that. Like, please, like, just get into Halloween 2, man.
Sean Clark, dude. Sean could probably do it.
I want to hear his unfiltered thoughts, man. Like, I really do, because I know in my heart of hearts, Rob Zombie's proud of that fucking movie. I know he is. Like, I know.
I read an article years ago. I say years ago. It was probably 2017, 2018. And the headline was, it could have been bloody disgusting, but the headline was Rob prefers his Halloween 2 over the first one. And then it had like a quote like, "We had some cool shit in that." Which, so I know that he likes that movie according to this article, but I haven't seen, I never read the article, but I wouldn't doubt it. Why would he not like Halloween 2 more than Halloween 1?
I know. It's more of what he wanted to do. I mean, I fucking like it more than Halloween 1. But, yeah. Oh, by the way, so cool little tidbit there, guys. That school that they're walking out of is literally across the street from the school from the beginning of the movie, where Dag is hiding in the woods to kill little Junie. They're literally directly across the street because one of them is a school and one of them is the library, and they just used one as one school and one as the other. So when I was in California here, when they're walking down the street here, I was trying to find this spot. Then I came around a corner, and that stone wall just made it. I knew exactly where I was at that moment because that stone wall is still fucking there. Man, look at Danielle Harris.
That's the fucking sheriff.
Why don't you go crawl back under your fucking rock?
I never talk about the other broad on the right, the taller one. Who is she?
Christina Klebe.
What's her deal?
I don't know. She's done some other work, bit parts and things. She's never been really like on the level of like a Scout or a Danielle. She's always been kind of like a supporting side character in a lot of the stuff she's been in. But from what from my recollection, she's been used a lot in horror movies for nudity scenes. So because I remember in the making of this one, she was talking about how the scene she had to do with Bob later in the movie, she's like, I had already done a sex scene with him for a previous movie. So it's like,
all right.
yeah. But right here, guys, where Lori's about to turn and go up the street to her house, this is real. This is not faked. That stone wall is there. She turns left, and her house is at the end of the street there on the right. So it was
So
the same
cool.
streets. But this is the exact same street where Annie yelled "Speed kills." It was from
Right.
the other
Right.
side, right there. You can see over there where those trees are. Over to the right, it's right around that area where Annie yelled "Speed kills."
I'm liking Scout's. I never noticed this before. Her little zip up hoodie she's got on. It's got like orange
I've
skeletons
always
on it.
loved it. Yep, I'm
Yeah.
so glad you mentioned that. It's one of those. I don't know. It's just
I would have
another
worn that
reason.
in 2007.
Yes, and it's another way where I look at her and I just see her as just a kid, like so relatable, just a normal teenage kid.
Yep.
Like,
God, look at Mike on the back. Holy
I know.
shit.
Yeah, Tyler Mane, dude, big as fuck.
This is totally embarrassing. I've always noticed the clip of where he initially sees her, where she turns around or whatever. But right there, when she walks up on the lawn, I never noticed him in the back until this very moment. And then when she gets into position, he's behind the tree, and that's why the mom can't see her, like right now. But that right before that, I never fucking noticed him. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
God, I'm such an idiot.
No, it's very subtle. And
he looks like a tree. He's the same color. His outfit's the same color as the tree.
But it just proves that, yeah, sure, Tyler Mane is fucking huge, but like he can still be subtle. Like he really can. Like you would think like, oh, you'd see this guy coming a mile away. Well, Christian just proved to you, no, you might not sometimes.
Now you may be saying I'm an idiot. And you
because it is very organic.
No, I'm talking to the audience. Like they'd be like, oh, Christian's just an idiot.
The camera focuses on Lori and her mom, so you're not even really paying attention to the background. Like,
now, is this the same cemetery as the original?
This is not. The cemetery from the original was in Sierra Madre, which is one of the only probably the only place in Sierra Madre from the original Halloween. But first of all, Christian, if you ever go to Sierra, by the way, rest in peace, Sid Haig.
Sid Haig.
If you ever go to Sierra Madre, it's like the place I want to live. Like it's just this small town in the middle of Southern California, surrounded by mountains, and it's like a half hour. It's a half hour outside of LA. It is perfect. It was like tranquil and it was great. But that town is known for how many movies have been shot there.
No kidding.
Yeah, Nightmare 5. The high school stuff, I believe, was in Sierra Madre. The cemetery from the original Halloween is Sierra Madre Cemetery. Then Sierra Madre is where you've got the church from The Fog, which is like 2 streets away from the cemetery from Halloween. And then you've got from the opening of Halloween 2, where the neighbor to Mrs. Elrod, which clearly is not the actual neighbor because it's 30 minutes away from the Elrod house, gets stabbed in the neck. And Michael is in her house. It's also the town square from Halloween 2, where the kid has the boom box and bumps into Michael.
Question. Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me that Tom Atkins does not grab a case of beer on the other side of the street in that movie in Halloween 3. Is that not the same street?
And also, it is the same town square from Halloween 3, where Tom Atkins is on the phone with his wife and gets in the car with Stacey Nelkin. Yes, you're absolutely right.
I swear I thought it, and I'm sure Sean Clark probably talked about that. I don't remember if he did or not. It's been a while. I watched the Rob Zombie ones today, but I was watching Halloween 3 the other day, and I looked across the street and the little stores. I was like, what the fuck? Why does that look familiar? And so I thought that's Halloween 2. So yeah, that's all. That's crazy.
And guess what? It's also on that exact same street, that town square from Halloween 2 and Halloween 3 is the Buccaneer, the bar from Halloween 3, where Tom Atkins is sitting in. And unfortunately, when I went, it was right in the peak of COVID, so they were closed down. because of COVID, so I couldn't go inside. Yep.
Get a cocktail.
I know. I wanted to. Sean Clark told a great story for it was either the 35th or the 40th Years of Terror convention. Tom Atkins went with like 100 people from the convention.
He sent everybody in the bar to get drinks.
Yes. And they all went to the Buccaneer and were drinking with Tom Atkins. This 80-year-old fucking legend, Tom Atkins, to get drunk with a bunch of Halloween fans in the bar from Halloween 3. That shit's awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so fucking awesome.
But yeah, no, that's what I was trying to say. Is like, it was a long-winded way of saying it, but I just wanted all the listeners to know.
Sure.
Sierra Madre is only a couple miles wide, and so many fucking legendary horror movies were shot there. Yeah.
Did you go to Lolita?
Oh, dude. So we get there, and I was talking to my wife about it, and I was like, I think I kind of want to make a trip up to Northern California to Lolita, and I GPS'd it, 9-hour drive from San Diego. God. Because that's how big California is.
Right.
Lolita is at like the very top of California.
That's awesome.
But I told myself the next time I go to California, I'm going to go to Northern California because I've got to see Lolita before that factory, God forbid, ever gets torn down. Got to go to that town. So,
dude, somebody was selling that lives out there, I guess, was like taking little, because some of the buildings warped and broke down. And I think somebody was selling like little pieces of brick from the factory that you could buy, which I don't know if that's legal or not, but they were doing it.
I mean, I took that rock from the front yard of the Myers house and paint chips off the side of the house.
I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. But you're not selling it. You just took it for yourself.
My wife was like, "Did you peel those paint chips off?" I was like, "I swear to God, they were already peeling." And like, I just pulled them off and kept them. So, and it was crazy too. Underneath them, because the house is blue now. Underneath it is the white. Like, you can see the old, dingy fucking white original like color of the Myers house.
Yeah. What fucking blew me away? Oh, here's our recreation of the pick up and stab into the wall shot,
which is, I think, still fucking badass in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And that guy just sells it too. And how they did,
you don't see too much blood here either, right? It seems like
there's almost no blood. And how they got him to stay up like that, which would be super painful, and the actor said it was super painful. They had 2 pegs in the wall that would go underneath his armpits. So his entire body was being held up by his armpits.
Yeah. I like her little glow in the dark, or she little pumpkin she's got there. She got a little candle in there or something.
Yep, we're about to get, Christian, we're about to get our 3rd bush in the Halloween series, though not as bushy as the previous 2 we've seen in the Halloween series. Now, you might be sitting here racking your brain and going, where have we seen Bush in the Halloween series? Well, don't worry. I can point that out for you. Halloween 3, when Stacey Nelkin is getting out of the shower to grab the towel through the shower door, although it's all steamed up, you can see 80s Bush, and then Ellie Cornell in Halloween 5, which Christian and I talked about on our Halloween 5 episode.
Right.
So we have now officially, we're at 3 bushes in the Halloween franchise. Although,
I would call that a hedge, which she's
got. It's more modest. It's definitely more modest, but yeah,
God, man, she's getting fucking choked out bad.
Again, with the sound design, man. Like, when he first grabs her and the almost kind of like crackling noise you hear.
Oh, God.
I love it. She said it was super uncomfortable to be butt naked and have to be strangled like that.
Oh, of course. I mean, you got to feel very vulnerable and submissive in a situation. But I always have major respect for actors to do that, because look, when we take our clothes off, all of us are naked the same way these actors are. So I always have respect for actors that do that, because I mean, you're going for it to make this movie, be a movie. I always have respect. I don't look at actors that get naked on film in a lowbrow way ever.
No, if anything, it gives me more respect for them. Yeah, because it's like, that millions of people are going to see this and potentially judge your appearance, and you don't care. You're just like totally liberated.
Judge you anyway, so you may as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and most of the time we don't judge negatively. So Most of the time, if you're comfortable enough to get naked on screen, that's usually not a problem for the viewer, is what I'm trying to say.
I always love Loomis is like, this is all. If you could go ahead and get it wrapped for me, yeah, blah, blah. That's my.
Yeah.
Everybody, go ahead and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Just wrap it up.
I always
wrap
love
it
that
up.
line too. I always love that line too, where he's like, "Yeah,
What
it's
a-
okay if you want to piss it off, but if you want to blow its fucking head off."
Oh, it's money. I love that scene so much, and it
Now-
doesn't hang on too long. It's short,
Yep.
condensed, but it's money. Boom, move on. Beautiful scene.
This moment that's coming up with Laurie's dad was one of the few times in the theater I did jump. It got me. Like,
This is a great sequence.
Yes. And some people have made the argument he should have cut away right after that when he went in the house, and we shouldn't have seen what happened until Brackett was calling the house and it was showing the aftermath.
Yep.
I can see that, but again, that'd be more in the vein of John Carpenter. And Rob is making it very clear he's going with a different approach. So I don't dislike what they do.
And Rob is clearly a fan of the brother-sister angle, considering he starts his movie with them as a family.
Yep.
Which, you know, it could have been interesting in a different. What if Rob didn't want to include a sister angle? Totally different circumstances then. But that'd be interesting looking back. What if he would have done that then? Do you think fans would have been happy with that or upset?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Who knows? I mean, we had to wait 10 more years for that to happen and get the discourse online. Here we go.
Oh, shit, dude. He barely fit in the door. He's so fucking big he was. He had to duck a little bit like Shaq.
And it was funny when they shot this scene. It was, I know you probably remember from the documentary, that happened. They did that take, and then Tyler Mane came out of the house wearing the fucking Jason mask.
Yeah.
And everyone on set started laughing their asses off, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like,
I love D right here where she's like, "Don't you fucking touch my kid."
Yeah.
Like this is great.
By the way, respect to Tyler Mane, man. Just really did a great job with the role. And the coolest thing about Tyler is and was he loved being Michael Myers. He still embraces it to this day.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
I think George Wilbur is still my favorite of all time, but Tyler could be 2 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think everybody does a good job.
James Jude's up there for me now. Definitely.
Oh, sure, yeah. Without question. I like Tyler's look. I really like the brown coveralls and the mask for these movies. I'm sure not a lot of people love the mask. I think they're fine. I don't really hate any of the masks, quite frankly. I like this one, man. I think he looks good. So
always loved Rob's mask.
Yeah, I thought it's menacing, man. I don't mind the angry look. You know.
No, and I was gonna say too, that's another thing that Rob did, or that Tyler did really well in this movie, is he emotes so well without saying a word. Like, you know when he's pissed, and he seems pissed most of the time, but he wears it on his sleeve. I love it.
Which Jude does that as well. You know?
Yeah. Yep.
Jude's good, man. Like I think he's fucking, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How do you not get excited to see that dude play? I mean, they got a good dude to do the role, you know.
Yeah, and honestly, to tell you the truth, even if this is, the end of this whole trilogy and whatnot, whenever they do come back and make another Halloween movie, why not have him come back? I mean, you don't have to show his face. People don't have to know it's the same guy. Like, they won't know that's the same Michael Myers. Like, yeah, we'll know it's the same actor playing him, but he's just fucking good at it. And I mean, if he's good at it, why not let him keep doing it? I mean, look at Robert Englund. Like, he's Freddy for like everyone because he just was so goddamn good at it. Just, Robert had sucked after one movie. I promise you they would have recast him.
Oh, no question. I mean, they even tried to in 2 for like a couple days, and
we see how that went.
The director said, you got to get Robert back, or this you're an idiot.
Yeah,
that's what he told. That's what he told Rob.
Well, yeah, they were trying to save money, weren't they?
Yeah. Jack Shoulder said that Bob Shea started the movie with a different guy because he claimed that Robert's agent had already gotten wise to the success and how he knew the movie was going to be very popular, and he wanted X amount of dollars. And so Bob Shea told him to fuck off. And so they got some other guy. Now that other guy is in the movie. in Nightmare 2, when the PE teacher gets killed and you see this shot of Freddy walking from the shower where Jesse was taking a shower, walking through the smoke, that's that guy for just a second of the film. And that's that stunt double guy. But that's the only shot he ever used. But yeah, he would have been awful. Terrible.
Yeah.
Been a shit show.
No, yeah, no. By the way, also, I think one thing that Brad fucking
Look at
Dourif.
these two fucking legends talking.
know.
Like, are you? This is real.
Christian,
This is really happening.
one of my favorite shots of the movie is right there with the purple lights out of focus in the fucking foreground. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
When I was doing my fan made movie, I emulated that shot through orange lights where they were really like in the foreground. Like I did it on purpose because I just have always loved that fucking shot. It's just so cool.
Haddonfield charbroiled burger.
Yeah, that's right.
Dude, he's such a cop. It's late at night. He's getting his burger. He's getting his fries. Look at him. He's got his drink.
Yeah.
I love Brad Dourif.
On one of the busiest nights, for crime in the United States,
he's getting a burger.
The sheriff's getting a burger. But one thing I was going to say, I think the chemistry with the teens and the kids in this movie is great.
God damn, look at that money. His face ain't even. He is a monster, dude. Are you kidding me? God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd be hard pressed to accept an argument. I'd listen, but I'd be hard pressed to accept an argument about what's wrong with this movie from Halloween night, present day. I think it's magical.
It's awesome. It's awesome. By the way, I also went to this street and I saw the Wallace house and the Doyle house from Rob's movie. And there was someone in the front yard of the Doyle house. They were like watering plants or something. So I stayed on the other side of the road and I wanted to be courteous. And I was just like, do you mind if I take pictures of like the outside of your house? And they were like, no, I don't mind. But why? Like, if I can ask. I was like, oh,
you don't know?
I was like, your house was one of the houses in a movie I like. They're like, what movie? I was like, Halloween. They're like, from the 70s? I was like, no, Rob Zombie's Halloween. And they were like, oh, no one told us that when we bought it. I was like, yeah, no, it's from that movie. It's very recognizable. And they're like, yeah, you can take pictures. And like, part of me wanted to be like, well, since you're so cool about it, can I see the inside? But I was like, nah, I'm not going to fucking push the issue. But yeah, they had no idea. None. They're just like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like,
I wonder how much those houses cost out there, dude. It'd have to be millions.
Yeah, I want to say that this neighborhood, dude, every house was like that. It looks suburban enough and Midwestern enough, but like it's got that California flair where everything's a little bit bigger, a little bit nicer. So you're like, yeah, you're probably not buying a house like that out there for less than like 500,000 at the lowest. Like it's just, but it's a nice area. South Pasadena is, dude, it's fucking beautiful. Like, I mean, it really, really is. It's just far enough outside of LA to where you're out of the craziness that is LA, but it's not too far from LA.
Hey, really quick, Nick, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Good, you're good. That's all.
Brad Dourif just said, I've got to live with you. I've read your book. What kind of book did he already write at this point, the character of Loomis? I'm trying to see what it says.
The Devil's Eyes. I think what he means is essentially like you wrote this book.
Okay, they're showing it now. The story of Michael Myers.
Yeah, you basically exposed an atrocity that happened in our town. You talked all about it, told everyone all about it. You sensationalized it just to make yourself money.
Oh, so The Devil Walks Among Us is the book he wrote in Halloween 2. And that's where, okay, because I always forgot. I didn't know he had already wrote a book, but obviously he had. Oh, wait up. Here we go. I'm forgetting about everything that's going on right here.
Exactly, Christian, right? He literally already fucking did it in the first movie, and people acted like it was a character change in the second movie.
Well, I probably haven't watched it in a long time. Even though I watched it last year, I guess I've slept since then.
Yeah, I love this scene.
Same thing. And here's a
If I may, a promise I made.
yeah, I got the subtitles on.
Play it Razor.
Dude, there's something like so intimidating about Brad Dourif's
His
fucking
eyes.
face.
His eyes. It's his eyes, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
there's.
I hope he stays around for a long time. He's getting old too, Brad Dourif.
Late 70s, I think. Tom Atkins, dude, still kicking.
He's fucking rolling, dude. He's like 80.
Yeah, he's old. He's in his 80s now, well into his 80s now, and that motherfucker was, when you saw him in all those 80s movies, pounding beers and whiskey and smoking cigarettes, he was actually doing that. Yeah, and he was actually doing that. So he has put himself through shit, but hey, didn't stop him. That's isn't that crazy? Some people can do that type of stuff their whole life, and they just still live to be like 90, 95 years old.
There they go, man. I mean, fucking Keith Richards has pounds of marijuana going through his body every day. He's like 84 now. He's still fucking. I think he's actually 79, but like he's just going, man. They don't. That's all their bodies know.
Yep.
If he stops smoking, he'll die.
Yeah.
I like the kids. Mexican Day of the Dead. I'm assuming Rob's a big fan of that kind of culture too.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that Mexico Day of the Dead, you know.
Well, yeah,
on his face.
You remember Christian and I were texting about this about a month ago. The lyrics back and forth, the song "Day of the Dead" from Captain Clegg and the Night Creatures.
I love that. I bought the record. I would love a vinyl of it. I'd love if they put out that on vinyl. Drive, conductor, drive.
It's I love those songs.
It's catchy. It's so catchy. Honky Tonk Halloween is so good. I love my wife loves it when I play that song too because it's funny.
Christian, can we address something real quick?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say when they've talked about this movie, oh, and here we go, fucking Rob Zombie just wanted an excuse to fucking see Danielle Harris naked. Danielle wanted to do this. If you don't follow Danielle on social media or listen to her podcast with Scout Taylor Compton, Talk Scary to Me, then I don't know what to tell you. Danielle is a very sexually free and liberated individual. So this was not Rob going, Danielle, I really want you to get topless in this movie. The conversation probably was more like, do I get to get topless in this movie? So just one thing I wanted to put to bed because I hate when people say that. Rob gets certain people in his movies just to show off their boobs. Like,
I think it's a silly, it's a very ignorant comment to make about Danielle and Rob after you get to know Danielle. She's very comfortable with,
and she adores Rob.
Sexuality.
She adores Rob, and she adores her experiences with these two movies. She does. She doesn't have a bad thing to say about Rob. So
it's funny. She did an Instagram live video with who's the Halloween guy that was making fun of everybody?
Tony Moran.
Tony Moran. And Tony hadn't seen the movies, the Rob movies, and she goes, "You need to watch them. You'll love them. They're great movies." So obviously she likes them.
Dude, okay, funny thing you say that. In the when my buddy Jason, JDev TV here on YouTube, met her at a convention and literally gave this woman money to send me a personalized video message, which was like the coolest thing in the world. And he's in the background. She's saying to me, she's like, yeah, Nick, I hear that, you know, some of my movies are some of your favorite in the series. And Jason's in the background going, yeah, he's got Halloween 5 at number 3 and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 at number 2. And she looked over at him and then looked back at the camera. She's like, really? Wow. She's like, that's fucking awesome. And like, it was so cool to hear her say that because, you know, she probably doesn't hear that a lot.
So Halloween 4, Halloween 4, Halloween 4, Halloween 4, Halloween 4.
And then for her to hear that, yeah, dude, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is this dude's second favorite Halloween movie. She was probably like, what? That's a person that really exists. Like, so yeah, Danielle, I'm a very big fan of your movies. Some of my favorite in the entire series. So yeah, she's fucking great, man. She's great. We'll just bang the drum on this again. I need to have these women on the show.
Yes.
I love them. And then, you know, hey, maybe Scout and Danielle go, hey, why don't you two nerdy horror dudes come on our podcast as well? And then we'll make you talk about really uncomfortable shit. And you know what? I'm not going to say no.
Absolutely not. That'd be a
yeah.
dream come true. So
Yeah.
Christian, tell me your favorite kind of vagina. Like, do you like it clean? Do you
Yep.
like,
Let me just tell you something, guys. If you have not listened to their podcast, they will tell you about every detail of their sex lives.
how they like to suck dick, how
Yes.
they don't, like how long they like,
How many
how long
dudes
they
they
like to
let
be
them,
eaten out.
how
Like,
many dudes they let do their butts and stuff. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. And they don't give a shit.
that's
Like,
the way you got to approach that kind of
yeah.
subject matter,
And
man.
if
It's
you guys
just,
haven't noticed, Christian and I have gotten to that point with the podcast too. We're
you can't tiptoe.
we're done tiptoeing around the F-bombs and us admiring naked ladies in movies. Okay. It's gonna happen. Deal with it. Y'all are still here. So clearly it doesn't bother enough of you. But man, I love the fucking score, man. That's the one complaint about I have about Halloween 2. The one complaint.
Which is for
I
this movie or
wanted
the
I wanted a little bit more of the original score throughout the movie. That's the one complaint. Because I think the way he utilizes the original score in this second half of the movie is great. All the original themes, he uses them at great times. I love Tyler Bates' rendition of them. I just wish we'd gotten a little bit more of that in the second movie. But I do love the score in that movie because it's very ominous and it's original and it's spooky and emotional. And this motherfucker's standing behind the door.
God damn, dude.
He just pushes it very gently. Man.
It's money.
Look at Scout. Look at Scout with the snot running down her nose.
Oh,
That's
poor Danielle.
That's one thing Rob said in the casting for this movie. He said he loved Scout because when she would cry, she would fall apart. He was like, she'd fucking drool and snot would come down her nose and she'd be a manic mess. And he's like, I
Right.
just knew I needed that. Fuck what anybody says. Danielle, she's not just horror royalty because she was good in Halloween 4 and 5 as a little girl. That she can act. That woman can act.
Oh, she's been in some amazing shows. I mean, she's a legend. I mean, one of my favorite movies she's in is a movie called Daylight. It was in the 90s. It's a disaster film. It stars Sylvester Stallone. It's a wonderful movie. It's a tunnel that explodes under like New Jersey, going to New York, and it's underwater, and it's like this big massive budget movie, and she's in the movie and she's great in it. She's done some just fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. So, I mean, she's a legend. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, she is. You guys will never hear Christian or I have a bad word to say about these two women right here. I mean,
No, they're lovely. They're great
they are.
actresses.
I still haven't seen The Long Night, but I know Christian was a fan of it, and
Yeah.
I know that a few people that I trust. They said it.
It's
fun.
perfectly serviceable. It's fine. You can get that DVD at Walmart for like $10.
I saw it a few weeks ago. For
Maybe
$10.
it might be a few bucks more. I don't know, but I bought the DVD, man. I know I bought the Blu-ray on Amazon.
The Blu-ray was $14.99 at Walmart.
It's certainly serviceable. It's a nice little movie. She's lovely as ever in it. I think you'd like it.
Well,
I think you'd like it a lot.
It's Scout, so yeah, the odds are good that I would. I watched that movie in the late 2010s, or maybe it was 2011, 2012, The Runaways, solely because Scout was in it. The Joan Jett.
Which character did Scout play? Was she Lita?
Yo, Carl, what the fuck? Dude, my dog just farted. Bro, come on, go.
Oh, God.
Go, dude. Oh. It's bad. Y'all, if y'all have dogs, you know what dog farts are. Okay.
They're Chevy Chase, my Boston's the same way, dude. It'll make you, and he runs away as soon as he does it too.
Usually Carl will, as soon as I say his name. I just have to go, Carl.
He knows what he did.
Get up and run. Yep. He's like, oh,
My
yeah.
bad.
Yep. I just ripped ass. But yeah,
Man,
I can't remember who she played in that movie, but I watched it solely for her. Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Scout's in this movie.
Yeah. Where you at, Brad? Now, is it true that Sid Haig wasn't actually supposed to be in this movie, but they filmed that cemetery scene after like a reshoot or something?
Yes. They He was not initially in the movie. Rob said he didn't have a role for him. He actually talked about this once. He was like, I wanted to have Sid in it. I didn't have a role for him. And then when we had to go back and do a few days of reshoots, I was like, boom, I can give Sid a role in this movie. And so, yeah, it just kind of worked out perfectly that way because he actually talked about how he felt bad that he didn't have a role for him in the beginning.
Well, I'm glad he made it in, man.
Yeah, can you imagine Sid as Sheriff Brackett?
Hey, I think we've talked about this before, but do you think in Halloween Ends the story about the kid in the next town killing his wife and kids?
Charlie Bowles.
Do you think that's going to have any? Because the first time I heard that, I was like, dude, that really is interesting. You could surely incorporate that kind of evil into your story.
I'd like that, but I don't see it. The things I've heard after the test screenings for Ends are that people should be prepared. Just be prepared. This movie is not what you expect.
That's what John said too.
Yeah, and they're not lying. From the people that have seen it, it's been like, look, guys, this movie is less about Laurie and Michael Myers and more about the town of Haddonfield and the shape itself and what the shape is. Also, I posted on my community page the other day, somebody that is in the know said, no, the radio tower did not compel Michael Myers to kill. No, he doesn't die at the beginning of the movie.
Who the fuck said he was dying at the beginning of the movie?
Dude, it was a real rumor that was going around. And
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it finally got debunked. But apparently, Michael's used a lot more sparingly in this movie. Apparently, it's a lot more character-driven, a lot more stalking, suspense.
Good.
And
any flashbacks?
I don't know about that.
Probably.
But people are getting mad because it got revealed yesterday that there's a character named Corey. I can't remember the actor's name, but there's a character named Corey in Halloween Ends, and he's like a central role. He plays a central role to the plot.
What's the problem?
I don't know, but apparently he's like intertwined with Michael somehow, and apparently he's in the movie more.
People are upset about that.
Well, get this, Christian will like this. Some people won't.
What?
Apparently he's in the movie more than Laurie is.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
So, don't know who Corey is or what his connection is, but apparently the movie's going to open with a flashback from 2019 with Corey.
Good.
So yeah. Look, I'm just saying from what I'm hearing from the people that have seen this movie with these test screenings, it makes me happy. They're literally saying, dude, this movie's different. They're trying new stuff. It's very definitive. It's a lot more about the shape of evil itself. And I'm like, dude, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. Like, give me something totally different.
Let me ask you something. Because the We Watched the Movies guys said this, you agreed with them, and I hear it a lot. Why do you guys prefer Michael to not ever have an explanation? Because I like explanations, and I like the Thorn explanation. I don't think it was perfect, but I thought it was cool. I like this explanation. He came from a broken home. But it seems like the majority of Halloween fans, they prefer him to not have an explanation. Why is that? I'm just curious.
So it's not that I don't want him to have an explanation, because like you said, I think the Thorn cult one is enjoyable trilogy. And it's interesting. It's enjoyable. You know, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I just feel like it does unintentionally weaken the character's origin, in the sense of like the character was conceived by John Carpenter to be a face of evil,
right?
And to be motiveless, and we're more to focus on the thing that is driving this man's body and willing him to kill all these people, and not the man himself. And so I feel like when you get into the weeds of, well, he is still a man and he was corrupted by X, Y, and Z, it's like, can it be believable and totally make sense? Absolutely. But it does kind of cheapen the pure evil side of him. Because how many times have we seen, like, in real life, serial killers and just truly evil individuals that did not have a good motive for shit. They were just they were just so far gone and
Yeah.
deluded, like,
Which is kind of
it's
this right here for me, you know?
and it makes sense because, like, we want answers. Like, as a society, as human beings, we always want answers for things. We don't like
That's
wait.
me as a viewer. I
Yes.
always like the exploration.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that because inherently as humans, we tend to gravitate towards wanting answers. But I guess with this character, I'm just more protective because I'm like, I have come to terms with the fact that this man or this thing doesn't need to give us answers. And one thing I use as a great to compare it, The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. There's so much left unsaid with that movie. How the fuck? What happened at the end? What exactly is this thing? Where did it come from? What really is the goal here? Like, is McCready in fact, or is one of them the thing? Did they live? Did it make its way to society? There's so much left ambiguous and unsaid, and everybody loves that about that movie.
Sure.
And I feel like it's the same way with Halloween. It's just like I don't need the answers personally. I don't
Well,
hate them when
that's one thing I love about Halloween 3 is I find out everything I need to know in that movie.
dude, I can't tell you the first time I fucking saw that movie when I fucking saw Stonehenge and that fucking factory, and I was like, what
What?
the fuck is going on? I think the
Huh? What?
I think the peak of what the fuck for me was either one when um Barb, I think her name is,
Just
zaps
the
herself in the
zap?
face and
Oh,
that
yeah.
giant bug crawls out of her mouth, or two was probably when Stonehenge zaps Cochrane and he turns into a paper fucking figure and just disappears.
Disappears.
Those are the moments where I'm just like, all right, this is what I'm watching. All right.
So that was interesting, that
Love that movie, by the way, people.
Michael gives her a picture of her as a baby. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" She has no idea. I think that's really interesting because
Wouldn't you know? I just want to ask you, devil's advocate. Like, if he was doing that to you, I feel like me personally, I'd be like, oh fuck, is that? Are you telling me that's me? Like, I feel like I would have put that together.
I maybe, but in the heat of the moment, like she's in right now, she seemed like, I don't get it. What the fuck does this
Yeah.
mean? I don't know, man. I mean, it depends on how well it was hidden from you growing up.
Yeah, no, it's very true. I mean, to her knowledge, the Strodes are her real parents. They're
I
her
have
birth
I
parents.
have a friend that found out she was adopted when she was like 14 or 15, and she had no idea. You know, her parents finally said, "We need to tell you something. You're adopted. This is what happened."
To get a
And
little
she was like, "I have no idea."
personal, I have an older sister. Can you hear me, Christian?
I hear you. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I have an older sister that was put up for adoption years and years ago, and I've never met her. I don't know her, and my mom reached out to her and told her, hey, I'm actually your real mom. She like found her on Facebook and everything like that. And it prompted her to block like all of us because it was probably really hard to hear. Like, you're telling me this family I've had my entire life is not actually my family. What the fuck?
I can't relate, but I think I can kind of understand that, man. It's like,
But I will say to anybody that's listening that may be adopted, no, they are still your family. You know, both can be true. People can be your biological family, and people can be your family that's been there for you your entire life. And so both can be true. Now, I will say there's been resolution to that. You know, since that was years ago, she is in contact with my mom now and kind of wants to get to know my mom. And which is really cool. I mean, my mom had her really young, and my grandparents, being, super old school, rich conservative people, were like, look, we're not going to let you live at our house with this kid, and we're not going to pay for you to go to college. So you need to put it up for adoption. So my mom put her up for adoption.
that has to be tough for women to go through that, man.
Dude, and it's so easy too to like, I know my sister Kelsey, like, I don't know her, but I know like when my mom reached out to her, she couldn't deny it. They look like, she looks just like my mom. Like, she
Sure.
looks just, yeah, it's like spitting image. So like, when someone's like, "Yeah, I'm actually your real mom," and you see her pictures, you're like, "What the fuck?" Like, it probably just shakes you to your core. I get it.
God,
Yeah, guys, there's a little insight to my life, but it was pertinent to what we were talking about, with Lori not knowing. It's a real thing.
I think it could be pretty. I think it's pretty believable, I guess, then, given the circumstances.
No, it is. It is.
God, that scene is just fucking insane. I remember in the theater watching that, like, dude, edge of my seat. I had goosebumps when he was going towards her and he's just shooting him in the back and he won't fucking drop.
Yeah, it won't fucking drop. Motherfuckers, like, keep it going, man.
You don't even see him in the pile of leaves. He just blends in there.
Yeah. Man.
It is those lights you're talking about again. There's blue circles.
Dude, Rob just loves to do that, and I fucking love it.
What is that from? Is that a reflection, like, from a window or something? Or
no, they're very they're in the foreground, like they're in front of the camera,
yeah.
and you zoom in enough on, or maybe not even zoom in. You get very close to the lights, almost to where they're like right up to the fucking lens.
Okay.
But
I get it.
You have the image focused on something in the background, so it blurs it out. Yeah, and it just looks so cool. It's a very, I don't know. It's kind of it's definitely a stylistic choice, and it's one that I personally love. But I'm sure there's some pretentious fucking filmmakers out there that are probably like, ugh,
it's distracting.
Yeah, same people that said that Dominique Othen and Gerard's camera flip in the mental ward in Halloween 5, upside down on the ceiling, was amateur. Fuck that. That shot is awesome. Love that shot. This part made me jump in the theater too.
Oh man. Here we go. Oh shit. Damn. Dude, that's a fucking swing. God damn, son. You gotta step on the gas, Loomis.
You gotta think in this moment, Loomis is seriously sitting here thinking, like, I'm fucked. Like,
I'm an idiot.
I can't I can't stop this guy. I just shot him 4 times. Motherfucker, here he is.
I was reading in Taking Shape, the author of the book made a claim about something that I find interesting. When you put Halloween 281 into canon with the original, do you find it a little fucked up and maybe a little morbid that Laurie's dad makes her drop off the key at the Myers house where she was at when her brother killed her older sister? Is there a little bit of like morbidity to that in retrospect when you look at it?
Super fucked up. Because in that instance, her dad would know. But at the same time, it's kind of like he knows she doesn't know. So it's no harm, no foul, I guess. But no, it is kind of fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah. Or is it like, hey, just act like nothing's wrong?
Yeah.
But yeah, I never really thought about that before until the author was like, in retrospect, doesn't it seem a little, you think he would have dropped off the keys himself?
Yeah. I'll take care of this one. Got fucking Scout crawling into the walls. Not even thinking about how many spiders are probably in there. That's literally all I would be thinking about. That's how much I don't like spiders. But, Also, people bitched after this movie came out, like with Halloween 2, when Loomis came back. They were like, he was dead in Rob Zombie's Halloween. Really, though? Like,
really? Really?
He squeezed his head, but it didn't explode. Like, what?
Dr. Loomis is fucking dead.
Yeah, dude, after he got his head squeezed like that, he should have died. In the original Halloween 2, he got fucking
blasted
exploded.
In Lethal Weapon style.
Yeah. Again, just another example of people just really just wanting to shit on Rob Zombie. That's what it's really about. Love that. I always loved that knife. Love it so much.
I never did buy it, but Spirit Halloween used to have like a little replica of the Rob Zombie knife, and I always wish I just would have fucking bought it. Maybe I'll see it this year.
Yeah, my store had it last year.
It's cheap, but it's just like, fuck it, man. I like the packaging for the Rob Zombie movie stuff. So
I love the colors. They're so vibrant.
Yeah, like a burnt orange and all that shit. I love the title for Halloween 2 for the remake too. It's like that really burnt almost fluorescent orange. It's great looking stuff.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I'd have ran right the fuck out of that house, man. I'd have got the motherfuck out of there.
Oh yeah. I mean, what's good? Don't hide in the walls. Get the fuck out of there. Clearly, at this point, this dude has shown you he's like fucking superhuman. Okay, you don't stand a chance. Though I will say, she was very smart to, as soon as he walked out, move, like not stay where she was.
Right.
Bust this fucking wall up. Here he goes.
Mm. God. Was this the house that they built too nice? And Rob was like, it was hard for him to break shit down, or is that the stall in the bathroom?
I think it was a little bit of both. Yeah.
He said they built the stuff too sturdy and it was hard for them to bust shit down.
But when you got Tyler Mane,
they'll get it broke.
Mm-hmm. That also happened in Halloween too, when they built the shack for Buddy
right
outside the hospital.
Dude, that sequence is fucking amazing. God, I can't wait till we do that one for the show because, you know, man, it's just a shame. Rob's movies need to come out in 4K just for how good they'll look. I mean, it's just criminal, truly criminal.
Say what you want about the man, he can fucking direct. Like he can. Shot composition. It's just it's there, man. He's got an eye for this shit.
Dude's using fucking film, for God's sakes. It's like it's like, who was doing that? Like, do you think Dimension was just like thrilled? Like, okay, let's buy a bunch of film that's probably not being produced anymore. We got to go find old stock or something. maybe it was being produced, but certainly not on a grand scale like it was, you know.
Yeah. But then when this came out and it made like 6 times its budget, Dimension was like,
let him use film.
All right, Rob.
If you want to use film, you could use film, and that's got to be a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah.
There's no way it's easier.
And credit to Rob Zombie too, because he never wanted to come back for a sequel. He initially was like, no, this is all I'm doing. And then they were like, well, we made too much money, so we're continuing on with your characters. And as soon as he found out Scout and Tyler and them were coming back, he was like, no.
Right. Let me do another one. Yeah.
He was like, you're not going to
anybody's going to fuck up my movie. It's going to be me.
Yeah. And then, but a big reason why was he was told he would have complete creative control to make his own movie. And at the end of the day, guys, he really did. Like, Halloween 2 is his own Halloween movie. But behind the scenes, although they told him that was going to be the case the entire time making it, they tried to stop that from being the case. So it ended up being the case anyway, but like they said, they sweet talked him to get him to come back. And then when he was back, they're like, nah, you're not actually going to do that. And he was like, no, I am though. And he did it. Got to respect a filmmaker with that kind of fortitude.
Oh, yeah.
Be like, nope, you told me I could do what I wanted, so fuck off.
God almighty. Scout, get the fuck out of there.
Oh, she's about to.
I will say this, man, about this movie. Is say what you want about it. I'm talking to a lot of people right now, not you, but like, I rarely, and I mean rarely, like to see anybody live in horror movies with like characters like these. I usually just like to see them wreck shop and kill everybody. Never in a million years do I want Scout Taylor Compton's character to die in this or the next movie. I just don't. And that's like, dude, that's something to me, because I always want to see Michael. Like in the new movies, I'm warming up to the daughter. I like her as a person a lot, so that usually makes me like him as an actor more. But dude, and when I watched 2018, I really wanted everyone to die. I really did.
No, I hear you. That's why Rob made the right decision with the theatrical ending of Halloween 2, having Scout live.
I love that ending.
Narratively, I understand why he was like, no, all my characters in my director's cut died. I get why he wanted to do that, but the studio made the right decision with saying, no, that's not going to be the official ending. The theatrical ending, she will live, because they wanted to bring her back for a third one, obviously. So that was the right decision, because I much preferred the arc of everything Laurie went through, everything she battled through, everything she survived. Didn't matter. She still ended up institutionalized. Fucking crazy. Like, yeah, I love that ending.
Come on, girl, get up. How old was she right here? Like 19, 18? 20?
Yeah, she was 19 or 20. I want to say she was 19. I think she had her 19th birthday on set. Yeah, pretty sure she did.
God damn.
Russian roulette.
Get up, girl. Get the fuck up.
Love how she spits on him.
She does, doesn't she? Yeah. Yep.
That's another thing, too. People were like, she shot him in the fucking head. Do you not see how much she's shaking from him grabbing her? Probably wasn't a great shot. She just fucking grazed him.
Yeah.
I love this ending. Covered in blood, just screaming.
Yeah, she's losing it.
Yeah, how can you go from that ending to Halloween 2 and not think that her character arc is realistic? Why would Laurie be such a fucking basket case bitch in the second one? Did you not see the first one?
Oh, man, that was fun.
Everyone she loved died. Yeah. Might fuck with you.
Without question.
Look, guys, here's my piece on Rob Zombie's Halloween. If you're fans of my channel and you're subscribed to me, you've heard me talk about it before. I loved this movie when it first came out. And since then, I have soured on it. And that sounds bad. I just mean in the sense of I don't love it as much as I used to. But you will not find a complaint from me in the second hour of that movie. Not one complaint.
No.
It is a fucking blast.
A classic theme at the end?
Yep. And Rob Zombie, he was original. He gave us something we hadn't seen before. And you got to give him credit for that because he really did try to inject his own flavor. And I know there's people that are going to be watching this episode that are going to comment that could, I understand what you're saying. I just can't get behind the movie. And that's totally fine. But I hope that even the people that are like that can say, I can see what he was trying to do differently, and I can respect him for that. Whether you like it or not, he did not want to make a shot-for-shot remake of Halloween, and he fucking succeeded. So,
yeah, I think so.
Very similar to 2003's TCM, man.
TCM?
Yeah. Just, it's technically a remake, but it's very different.
Going, different turns, different directions. So that's that's about all I can ask for.
No Franklin. There was no Franklin.
Look at that, in memory of Mustafa.
Yeah. Yeah. That God, that's so crazy. May he rest in peace. The godfather of this franchise. The man that refused to let Michael die and told his son, you cannot let this motherfucker die. So Halloween ends, quote unquote, but it ain't gonna end.
I think his pops would be pretty proud of him.
I would be. I mean, the franchise has never been more viable than it is now, financially. I mean, it's just Malick has turned this into truly a cash cow. I mean, the last two movies have made $400 million. 2 movies. Like, that's a big deal. Since Malick has been in control of this company, he has overseen about to be 5 movies. And they've pulled in already the 4 over $500 million.
Yeah, it's nothing. That's pretty.
That's more than Mustafa's 8 movies combined. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you got to be proud. So, Malick, you'll never listen to this, but you are shepherding the franchise the right way. For financial viability, and keep doing you, man.
Keep doing your thing, man.
Like Christian and I said. Even if y'all don't like the turns they're making with the franchise, whenever a horror icon is relevant, it should be a good day for horror fans. That's how I look at it.
Well, guys, that was Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. God, man. Seems like a lifetime ago, but What a great time for my life, and I can't help it every time I watch this to be flooded with good memories, having fun with my friends in the theater, watching a fun horror movie, and Wayne
Not
Toth Michael
horror,
Myers makeup effects.
horror
Yeah,
movie. Yeah,
Wayne Toth. I remember you mentioned him before.
he's the goat.
Yeah.
Great makeup effects guy.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, guys, we hope that you enjoyed kind of getting back to the basics for us on the podcast. Kind of get back to the bullshit. As you know, you guys listened all the way through. We probably talked about the movie a dozen times and talked about anything and everything else 4 dozen times. But
Yeah.
that's kind of how we roll. So we hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah. And expect more of that, guys. Expect a lot more. But I know a lot of y'all tell me you like the chilled out episodes, so we're gonna give it to you.
Halloween 2, we're gonna talk. Christian and I are gonna talk about it. But Halloween 2 will either be coming 1 on the anniversary of the movie at the end of August, or 2 in October when
Yeah,
we're
we got to
watching
do it, dude.
Halloween.
I got to fucking.
We got to
Yeah.
unload with that movie, Christian.
Oh, I can't wait.
We can't wait to tell you why you're all wrong. It's gonna be great.
Oh man. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for listening. Of course, give us your thoughts down below. Tell me, how about this? Tell me your memory of when you first saw this movie. Did you go see it in the theater? Are you a younger viewer and you didn't get to see it till it came out on video later on, or did maybe you watched it for the first time in one of these box sets that have come out? Let me know. But we love you guys. We appreciate you guys, and have a great rest of your day.
This has been a production of the Uneeda Horror Podcast. You need it, we got it. Thank you for listening.